Hey sixth graders, and welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how to make oobleck, and hopefully you can do it at home, give you a chance to get some extra credit in science class, talk about how oobleck relates to the states of matter since we're studying states of matter in science class right now. So let's start and talk a little bit about where that name oobleck even comes from, because you might not know, but Dr. Seuss wrote this book called Bartholomew and the Oobleck, and it's a great story where Bartholomew is the king, and he gets kind of bored and tired of rain and snow falling from the sky, so he asks his kingdom magicians to make up a potion so that something else from the sky begins to fall. And it turns out to be this stuff called oobleck, and it's kind of sticky and stretchy, and it gets in all kinds of things that causes a huge mess, and it's a huge problem for the kingdom. And the moral of the story is that if the king would just apologize and admit that he was wrong and say that he's sorry, that ends the spell or the potion, and the oobleck would stop falling from the sky. But he continues to not apologize or say he's sorry, so it gets worse and worse and worse. It gets kind of funny of all the different things that happens. And then finally, at the end, he apologizes and realizes that no one is perfect and that it's important to apologize for your mistakes. And so there's a nice little moral to the story as well. So that's this. That's where the name oobleck comes from. And then what we're going to make today is called oobleck. And oobleck is really simple at home. Okay? And you might even have these materials at home and you don't even need to go to the store. But in case you don't, this is all you need. You need cornstarch. Okay? This is a special brand of cornstarch, but any type of cornstarch will do. It's usually like $1.50 in the baking section of the grocery store. So you need baking soda, water, and a plate. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of food coloring to mine. I have some green food coloring here to make it a little bit more visible while I'm doing it here on camera. If you want to use food coloring, that's fine, but you don't have to. Just note, if you use food coloring, that it's really easy to get on your hands. So I'm going to use gloves because the food coloring can stain and kind of be on your hands for a couple of days, even if you wash it. Be careful if you're using food coloring too with clothes. This does make a little bit of a mess, so you might want to put some stuff down on the table underneath to use so that you're not making it too big of a mess for your family. Okay? If you watch this video and you want to do it and you do it at home, send me a picture of it, send me a quick video of you using it to get some extra credit in science class. But let's go ahead and get started making some oobleck. All right, so we need some green food coloring here. So I'm just going to put a couple of drops in. And then mix it with the spoon. Remember, you don't have to have food coloring to make this work. Just kind of makes it a little bit more fun. All right, so now I have my cornstarch here, and I'm going to put a couple teaspoons down on the plate. I'm going to do like two kind of big heaping ones and then a smaller one. And then from there, it's all about the amount of water. Okay, so I'm going to, there you can see how much I have. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of water at a time to mix it. For this to work, it's all about the ratio of water to cornstarch. And so if it's not enough water, like I have right there, that's not going to be enough, even though, let me start spreading this around to kind of absorb the water. Okay. Just kind of moving it all around and kind of absorb some of that water. But look, I still have a lot of cornstarch. So I'm going to add some more water, just a little bit more. And then I'm going to mix it some more, and I'm getting to a point here where it's getting kind of hard to do it here with the spoon and the plate. But as I'm bringing this together, it's clumping together, but it's still not enough water. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. And if I would have added too much water, the way that I can fix that is just I would then go back in and scoop in a little bit more cornstarch. So now I'm going to just get my hands dirty here. Pick it up and just kind of slide it over and really pick up all the cornstarch. Okay, and you see it here as I put it down, put it in, and let it go. Okay, that's pretty runny. That's pretty runny. Let me see if I can pick up a little bit more. But this is pretty runny. As I try to squeeze it to make it into a ball, it's holding for a little bit, but now you see it looks like it starts to melt. Okay? And if I squeeze it, it kind of becomes hard again, almost like a solid. But now you can see it like dripping like a liquid and all this. That's a little too runny for me. I'm actually going to get a little bit more cornstarch here. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to go in with my hands here again and just kind of absorb it. Move it all around so they can absorb all that extra water. Yeah, this texture is a lot better. So I want to be able to, with my texture in my hands, work it into like a shape, almost like a ball there. As you can see, as I put it down, it looks like it's a ball. Here, I'll get closer. And it almost looks like it's melting. But then if I touch it, my finger doesn't go through it. It doesn't fall off the plate like a liquid would. It doesn't jiggle like Jell-O would. It literally looks like a liquid, but then I touch it and it feels like a solid. I can even make it into a shape here like a hot dog. As soon as I let go, it only holds that shape for a second or so. And then it appears to be like it's almost like melting. But again, it's not as a liquid would normally feel, but it's not really what a solid would feel like. All right, so now that you're done, make sure you clean up because it can be messy. It's pretty easy to clean up, but it's mess if you don't clean it up. Now that you're done, let's talk about what it is. Okay, so obviously as I was going through, I was showing you that at certain times that oobleck could behave like a solid because it had a definite shape. But other times it was acting more like the properties of a liquid where it was losing that definite shape. And if I would put it into a container, it would take the shape of that container. So why is it doing that? Well, what I would like you to do is to look up the term non-Newtonian fluid. Non-Newtonian fluid. A non-Newtonian fluid, as you will see, depending on pressure, is going to sometimes act like a solid and sometimes act like a liquid. It's all about if there's pressure on the substance or not. Which is why, when I squeezed it, I was able to kind of make it into a ball or even into a hot dog, like you kind of saw like a roll there at the end, because I'm putting pressure on it. But as soon as I release that pressure, it begins to act, again, more like a liquid. So it's kind of in between the solid and liquid. But the trivia question is that the true name of it is called a non-Newtonian fluid. All right, so send me your pictures or videos. I'd love to see what you guys did for extra credit. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Have fun.